Hi there, and welcome to the Seafood Business Accelerator Innovation Plan Canvas webinar. This is our final webinar, and I'm Debra, Hellbach, your host, and with me today is Brady. We've come full circle. Brady opened up the Innovation Plan Canvas webinar series with the first webinar. And today, Brady and I are going to wrap it up and talk a little bit about your Canvas. So Brady, how's it going today?
I'm doing good, Deborah. Thanks for having me. This has been a really fun project so far, and I'm glad I could participate and interview some of the experts, and we get to kind of wrap it up a little bit here and provide some final guidance.
Yeah, it was fun actually. I mean, we talked to people all around the world when we were, most of our experts are from BC, but we had some people from outside. It was really fun reconnecting with our experts, and just want to reiterate how lucky we are that the world is our oyster and that we can utilize the expertise from all over the world. So today we were going to just go through the Innovation Plan Canvas process very, very quickly and talk about ways that you can refine your innovation plan, go not repeat, but revisit the SMART goal aspect of it, how important it is that you are using SMART goals when you're filling out your plan. So with that, Brady, I'm going to turn on a slideshow and we'll just use that to guide our discussion. It's going to be pretty quick.
Sounds good.
So we're looking at the innovation plan canvas. We've, start with the blank canvas. We did mention to people you can fill it out however suits you. If you want to fill it out online or print it and jot down some of your notes, it's completely up to you. It's very diverse that way.
Yeah, it's important to keep in mind that as you're filling it out, there may be blanks. There may be areas you can't fill in. Just skip them and move on to the next one. And I think that as you've worked through your canvas, getting to this point, if there are quite a few blanks in there, that's all right. To just get any ideas and any notes down that you can in there to kind of help guide you as you go.
Yeah, and generally people find that, they start working on something and it kind of moves them into another direction. And I just was at a conference just recently and it was incredible. If I would have had the innovation plan in front of me, I could have done a lot of entries just as I was sitting there, because I was learning things and thinking about different aspects of, in my case, the many people that I've talked to. So I've got many projects on my mind, but you could use it that way too, I guess, as a consultant helping somebody thinking about what they need to do. So sorry, I went ahead a little bit too soon there, but I'm going to go back to the SMART goals. And I'm going to let you talk a little bit about SMART goals, Brady.
For sure. And this really ties into what Deborah was just talking about, being in a new location, getting new information, you're kind of changing, ideas change as you go. And it's important that once you get those ideas out there, that you revisit them and you make them actionable. And when we talk about SMART goals, we're talking about creating goals that are actionable. They're specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. These are goals that can actually happen. They have a time. They hold your feet to the fire a little bit. So it's important, not so much in the beginning when you're initially sussing out your idea, but once you get further into your idea, to start actually setting goals. And we find that the SMART goal process is the best route to take.
Yeah, and I think maybe if I move on to the next slide, where we did give some examples as we were going through the webinars, we gave some of the examples of how you could fill in your innovation plan. And some are smarter than others. And so we thought today we might go through those and say, okay, as you move along, you find new information and you can make it more specific or, more relevant to your project as you're moving forward. So I'll just switch to the examples that we used.
Perfect. So if you look at the project focus one, that's a good example of goals that were SMART right out of the get-go. So we have create one shelf-stable product by a date. So this is, you're setting something that's achievable, that's time-bound, that you can actually make happen. When we go to the marketing activities section, we have a good description of marketing activities and who you'll be targeting and what channels you'll be using. But after doing some more research and gaining some better knowledge about your marketing activities, you could put a SMART goal in there. For example, I want to reach 3,000 clients through social media ads by June of this year. That turns this section from a great description and a great initial phase into a SMART goal that is achievable.
Yeah, and we can also say too, that when you wrote down your project full focus and you wanted to create one shelf-stable product, that could change, right? As a result of the research that you've done. You could say, oh, well, actually, I found, I think when we were talking with Ellie and Bruce, we were talking about line extensions, right? And we were talking about utilizing waste products, and they came up with an example was a line of pet food products, right? So different flavors using the same waste product could be, instead of saying one shelf stable product, I actually want to create a line of shelf stable products, but it's still focused.
That's a great point, because going back to the presentation by Sean on regulations as well, we highlighted a lot of the regulations that could be needed, but we didn't dive into how long it would take to get those certifications, those regulations. So as you're doing your research, you may realize that it's going to take you 3 months to get your HACCP certification. Okay, you can now turn that into a SMART goal in your regulation box, stating that you'll have your HACCP certification within 3 months, and it brings it to that next level for where you're now driven to complete that.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, so this is where, I mean, at this point you may not have watched all the webinars, but they're very, very practical in the sense that we talked about the different regulations, the different potential funding sources, or how to write a grant, and how all of these things are interrelated. It's just, we keep saying things like it's a living document, and that might sound a little bit highfalutin, but it is, like, it changes, right? Like you can change it based on the information that you get. The real important thing is the focus, and again, at a recent event, I talked to entrepreneurs and they were not focused, and were very aware of it, that they had so many different ideas and they didn't really know how. In fact, one guy said, I feel like my head's gonna pop off because I have so many different ideas, and I go to this conference and there's lots of help and there's lots of information, but when I get home, I don't know how to move forward. And this is what we're wanting to help with here, is how do you get it into a manageable size project that you can actually work on and continue with all the other things that you have to do. So I'm going to move forward to the next. We just wanted to talk a little bit about who can help you. And, this is not a closed list. There's many, many, many people who can help you. But we wanted to let you know that often, you feel like you're all on your own. But there are people who you can reach out and help you, and sometimes in real surprising places. I'm sure you have some really good examples, Brady.
Yeah, one of the biggest issues a lot of businesses deal with in the seafood sector and the non-seafood sectors is understanding what resources there are to help you. There's the government level, there's nonprofit, there's industry associations. There's this whole web of supports out there for business owners, for fishers or farmers or anybody in the like, that usually goes untapped because people are so busy just trying to get by through their day-to-day. So, the important aspect of this is just knowing that there are people out there, and don't be afraid to start those communications. Don't be afraid to talk to your accountant about any of your issues, or if they know anybody who could support you, or your staff, or try and find mentors. Go to your local community futures or other entrepreneur organizations. Start those conversations, because even if you don't need it right now, even if you don't need that support right now, it's good to have them as your network for when you do.
100%, Brady, and tell your story and tell people what it is that what you want to do, and what what your dreams are and what your goals are. And I can say this, and I know the same with Brady. We hear people's dreams and stories, and we don't talk about your project so much as how can we help you. And we have a network of people that we know that might be able to help you. And we do, we're sometimes probably too passionate, because we have to learn to focus ourselves. But once we know that there's somebody who needs help and who is open to help, that's what we do. And we among our networks, we try to find help. When I was talking with Norcha, the grant writer who's in the Netherlands, But, she talked about getting on the lists of potential funders lists and getting on the lists of industry associations who pile the information about resources that are available to you. Those are really important things to do. Network and get known in the industry and attend things that you can. We're really fortunate that we can attend things online as well. But when you're online, ask questions. Make sure that your name is up there so that they can see who it is that's asking the questions. Most of the time, help will come for sure.
Very true. And then bring that information as you gain it back to your plan. Keep building on those building blocks. And eventually your plan will go from a plan to an executed innovation initiative that will hopefully has increased your value for your harvest.
So this, I know it's the same for you, Brady. This has just been such a great exercise for us. We really wanted to provide some resources to people that we had created through the Seafood Business Accelerator. Even though we don't have a program running right now, we thought that by focusing in on the innovation plan, helping people fill it in and using it as a guide, it's not so much about filling it in or having the paper or anything like that, but that you have a guide that guides how you're going to move forward working on your project. And we're thinking that this resource will be good for people that want to work on their project plan on their own. And also, we're pretty confident that we will be able to offer future Seafood Business Accelerator programs, and that this would be really good training material so people would understand what it is that we're wanting to accomplish.
Sounds good.
Yeah, well, I think that's it. Brady, it's just been an absolute pleasure working with you. And I really look forward to continuing to work with you in the future and helping seafood entrepreneurs however we can.
You as well, Debra. I learned a lot. I got to participate in the Seafood Business Accelerator. I've been coaching for a long time, and I still learned doing these presentations, learned about the seafood industry. So this was great. Always a pleasure, and I look forward to the next installment of what we have cooking up.
Sounds terrific. Take care, Brady.
You too.